We are what? We are who? We are what? Vibrant. We are who? 50 plus. Hi, welcome to Gray Lives on the Rise. I am your host, Professor Jamila Franklin, and we are coming to you from Oyende Enterprises, being sponsored by Jamila Sense, which is our product line of aromatherapy products that helps heal the mind, body, and soul. And we are bringing to you Alamaj's rebirthing program, as well as Jamila Sense and a host of wonderful programs that will help heal your body, heal your soul, and heal your mind. 50 plus people, we are here to stay. Gray Lives on the Rise. We are what? We are who? We are vibrant, and we are here to stay. Join us for our wonderful episodes. Thank you, and continue to look for our episodes weekly, being brought to you again from Oyende Enterprises and Jamila Sense. See you soon. Is everyone, beautiful souls, how are you? This is who? Professor Jamila Franklin, and we're here for another wonderful episode with the lovely, vivacious Kenya Harper. And we're going to have a fun time today because she's the beautiful author of some beautiful children's books. But you know how it is. Before we get started, I have to do my little infomercial. So first of all, to tell you a little bit about me, I am Professor Jamila Franklin. I am an award-winning author, certified aromatherapist, certified Reiki master, certified metaphysician. I have my own clinical practice in terms of coaching and counseling. And I also am a person who created my own modality in terms of healing. And it's called Healing Ancestral Trauma. And most people have it. Okay, most people have it. That's my specialty. And I've been doing this for a number of years. So please give us a call. And like I said, I'm a certified aromatherapist. Everything that I'm certified in, I also teach it. I have my own institute called Oyende Enterprises, and Gray Lives on the Rise. It's my newest baby, but the company that's underwriting, paying for this today, my company that's paying for it is Jamila's Sense. That's my certified aromatherapy company, and it's certified natural and holistic, okay? And this is one of my products. Peace Be Still. It is amazing, amazing, amazing. It deals with all the issues related to stress. And see how it is? It's very clear. No additives, no food coloring, or any of that. And I create all of my products, everything in my company, I do, or I hire someone to do it for me. But in terms of my Jamila Sense, I do it. So you just put 3 drops in your hand, and it gets rid of stress, anxiety, depression, hyperactivity within children, sinus congestion, sinus headaches, migraine headaches. It gets rid of any stress. And you know what? Flies and mosquitoes won't come near you. So I put 3 drops in my hand. You rub your hands together and you just breathe in. It goes all the way up to the brain, to the olfactory center, and it just releases any stress or anxiety immediately. And it's wonderful. And you put the rest on your arms, and flies and mosquitoes will run from you. I live in Georgia, so you know the mosquitoes will try to take a bite out of you. They won't come near you because they don't like the ingredients in it, which the ingredients are all natural: lavender, lemongrass, and geranium, and it works immediately. And so I wanted to tell you how you can get in touch with me and Gray Lives on the Rise. The website is oyendeenterprises.com, and it's spelled O-Y-I-N like in neighbor, D like in dog, E in enterprises, ENTERPRISES.com, oyendeenterprises.com. Gray Lives on the Rise is my newest baby on my website. Click on it, particularly if you need to get more information about it. And if you are interested in being a guest speaker, like our lovely Kenya Harper, then the form is there for you to contact me. So go to Oyende Enterprises and look, I have on one of the products from Gray Lives on the Rise. This is my t-shirt that I have. We have mugs, we have cosmetic bags, we have totes, we have mats, we have an array of products. So go to our store, Great Lives on the Rise, and you would not be disappointed. So thank you for joining us, and I would like for you to bring other folk to our episodes so they can learn about all the wonderful things that we have to offer and all of our services. Great Lives on the Rise is amazing. We're now going into our second season, and we are averaging between 10 to 12 to 15,000 views. So we are doing amazing, and we're so thankful and grateful to you because you're making it possible. Now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce the magnificent, brilliant, talented Kenya Harper. Kenya R. Harper is a passionate author and was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. She began her writing journey in 2004, inspired by her daughter. What started as a way to teach her child daily spiritual practices, healthy living habits, and positive mindset strategies soon blossomed into both a calling and a purpose. It's amazing. It's amazing. When you see her books, you will see why. Kenya understands firsthand the transformative power of reading and education. Having faced disability and literacy challenges from a young age and serving as a former Head Start assistant teacher. As her stories grew, she realized she was not only writing for her daughter, but also for the little girl within herself. And that's really important because a lot of times we tend to neglect that inner child. And that's part of the work I do with my clients as well. Kenya's mission is rooted in the belief that it takes a village to raise a child, and it is so important nowadays. The community has to come together, rally around parents, particularly single moms and single dads, to give them the necessary support that we used to have, 30 to 40 years ago. And so now we're beginning to go back to the ways of old, and they work. She encourages children, parents, and teachers to dream big, believe in their possibilities, and become village go-getters through the power of reading, learning, and self-discovery. She believes every child deserves to see themselves reflected in books and to know that their story matters. In 2023, Kenya took a leap of faith and officially launched Kenya's Omora, LLC, an online children's bookstore built on the belief that imagination creates endless possibilities. Since then, she has self-published 8 titles, sold over 900 books, and participated in nearly 80 book events, while leading countless readings and workshops in her community. Beyond writing, Kenya serves as a supervisor for a statewide nonprofit organization that helps families learn to use their rights for their loved ones with different abilities. She also enjoys listening to podcasts, watching science fiction movies, volunteering in her community, supporting small businesses, meditating, traveling, spending time with family and friends, and most of all, creating new stories. Kenya encourages children to discover the joy of reading and learning and to never, ever give up on their dreams. Quote, anything is possible when you take the time to invest in yourself with knowledge, then action, end quote. So without further ado, we bring to you the beloved Kenya Harper. Greetings, Kenya. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. How
Thank
are
you so
you?
much, Dr. Franklin. I really appreciate you having me on your podcast. I was so delighted when Victoria Farrell and told me she told you about me and you invited me. So I'm very excited to be here. So thank you for having me. I really appreciate
It's such an honor for us to have you here. I am so impressed with your story. So, in my talking with you off camera, you had mentioned that you just wrote the first story for your daughter to educate her, and then it started to mushroom from there. That I think a teacher heard about it and encouraged you to write stories. So let's talk about the journey. Let's talk about Little Kenya too, because you were talking about this helped you with your inner child work. And I think that that's really important for us to stay tuned to our own uh, interpersonal and inner child work, because a lot of people don't do that, and it starts to show up. So that was really impressive. So what was Little Kenya like?
I was actually, well, when I was really younger, I was really active. I was kind of a tomboy, believe it. My
Mm,
mother's the oldest of nine, and so I had uncles that were almost my age, and so I used to play with them all the time. And I'm the oldest of all the grandchildren, and then up under me are boys. So I always was just around boys. And then when my mother got married, her husband was like, "Oh no, you're going to be a young lady." So I kind of quiet down a little bit my spirit, but in school I was a very quiet child. I was the kind of a child that kind of like wanted to be the wildflower, kind of disappear. I liked being the teacher's pet, you know. I actually struggled with reading, comprehension, and spelling, if you believe that. So, um, and I didn't know why. I don't know if back then my mother didn't really know why. People didn't really deal with special education so much back there. I was born in the 70s, so I'm a 72 baby.
mhm.
And I think she tried to get me some help at some time, but I was kind of really quiet and to myself and didn't want the teacher to call me at all. Like, please don't call me. So I became like the teacher's pet. So she'll like let me pass out paper and pencils and things so I wouldn't have to get called. But I was always in my head. I daydreamed a lot. I was the only child at home. So I played by myself a lot. And so I always had a active imagination, but I kind of was very introverted and I really, really love anything that had to do with the arts, singing and dancing. I remember watching old black and white shows. I wanted to dance and sing like them. And so at a young age, I was drawn to the arts and didn't really know why. I just know it felt like they were just doing something so spectacular. And I wanted to it was a way of expressing yourself. And I just wanted to be able to sing and let out who I really was. And
Mhm,
and because I didn't do that in my real life, but when you by yourself when you're a little kid, you be dancing in your room and singing really
mhm.
loud and playing. So I remember being like that and wanting to grow up to be a dancer and a singer. And so yeah, I was a kind of introvert kid, but I had a lot of energy and a lot of imagination in me.
Well, it's interesting because the inner child of you was definitely not introverted because she was dancing and singing and whatever. She just didn't desire to have an external audience. She was like, I am the audience. I don't need anyone critiquing me. I don't need anyone making value judgments about what I do. And so what that did, which was really, really wonderful, you took that introverted part of you and you crafted that into this author because you were very creative as a child, as an only child. I grew up also as an only child. I had an older brother who was 20 years younger than I, but he and I never grew up together. So I grew up and I had an active, vivid imagination in terms of seeing things out of my mom's glass jewelry. I could look into it and I would see another dimension. It seemed like little people in another world. I had a very active imagination and I loved reading and all of that. So I can definitely relate to what you're saying because when you're an only child You have to create something.
Yes. Yes.
You don't have to. You're going to have to because there's no one else for you to bounce those things off at your home, at your grandparents' home with all the uncles and whatnot. Yeah, but when you were at home with your parents, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you had this innate ability and creativity that started to blossom, like you said, in 2004 when you were writing a story for your daughter. Okay, let's hear about that. Let's talk about that. How did that come to
Well,
be?
how that came about is I have rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it since I was 15. And
Mm.
so I had to stop working as a Head Start teacher because I was just struggling with a lot of things. So I had to get on disability. And so then I started kind of like homeschooling my daughter. And then eventually I did send her to school because she was just she didn't have any like people skills. Every time people come around, she was like, "Hi, my name is Shigana." She'd tell all our business. I said, "Oh my God, my baby needs to go to school and be around other children." And so she started going to an Afrocentric school called Insurama Institute, out here in Michigan in Oak Park. And everybody, her teacher would have the kids do meditation and yoga, and
Oh,
we talked about eating right and everything. So we had like she had a holistic upbringing and view of things. And so
mm,
we always talked to the kids about loving themselves. So one day she just sat down and said, you keep saying loving myself. Well, what does that really mean? And I forget sometimes that we tell kids to do something and we just assume
yeah,
we know because we've been doing it and thinking about it so long. And I'm like, I'm like,
yeah,
love yourself. She's like, well, when you say, I know you say love yourself, but what does that look like? She didn't know what it looked like. And so I had to sit and think, and I said, okay, well, because I kept giving her these explanations, but she would forget because she was 5.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I said, you know what? Maybe mommy should put something together and we can like just read it all the time. And that way, you know, you'll have it. And so then I
yeah.
said, I had to sit and think. I said, well, what would God want? How can God explain to a child how to love themselves? And so I would think he wanted them to love their mind, body, and spirit. And
Mm,
so then I thought about, oh, she's already doing things like meditation and yoga and African dance in school. So I made the story about her, but we called it
mm,
the character Tuya. Tuya is actually my spiritual name. So I put her as the character, but I used my spiritual name Tuya, which is really Tuya Ra, but I shorten it. And
and what's the origin of that?
I'm sorry.
Wh- What's the origin? Where did it come from? Which,
Actually, somebody gave me that spiritual name, and I think it was one of my spiritual classes teachers that gave me the name. I want to say that it's rooted in Hebrew.
hmm
I'm not sure exactly, but I know it means like mother energy or motherly, or it's kind of really it's a lot of the same thing as my name Kenya already.
hmm
you know, and so, but I resonate that energy, so that's the name that I was given.
hmm
And so, but I wanted to incorporate both of us together in the story,
hmm
my name and her being the character. And so, I we paced together some things, and I put the book together. And then afterwards, she said, "Well, can we read this in my class?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I asked her teacher. She said, "No problem." I read it to the class. They loved it. And then afterwards, her principal was standing behind me, um, Malik Yakini. He was the principal that created the school, and he said, "I publish Black authors' books. I would love to publish your story." I was like, oh no, I'm just a mom. And I literally just made the story up for her. Like, I am not an author. And then I was thinking in my head, if he knew how much I struggle with reading and like formulating things, like he would not be trying to get me to be an author, But he's asked me to think about it. And so I went and talked to my mother and my best friend. And they was like, are you crazy? If somebody wants to publish your story, you need to let them do that. And
hmm
so I was nervous about it, but it happened. 2 years later, the book was published. My very first book signing, I had 70 people at the book signing. I mean,
Wow.
God really wanted this. This came through the inspiration of my daughter and God. Like this was like
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
doing. It was not something
The
I
ancestors
chose.
pushing it too.
Yes. But um, and it just kind of kept selling itself. It People kept inviting me to things, and it just kept like I never really promoted it, and people
Mm-hmm.
just saw out the book. That's how I knew that it was like in divine order.
Mm-hmm.
And but
Mm-hmm.
I was really as I got to learn more about writing and um about the book industry, I'm like, wow, this is like a lot. I didn't realize there was so many different genres, and a chapter book is totally different than a children's book, and it's like it was so much to learn. It kind of scared me and it overwhelmed me.
Yeah.
And I actually
Yeah.
had friends like, "How are you afraid to be successful?" I'm like, "I'm just not prepared for it." And so, but I still pushed through my fear on some level because I just kept going, and it
Mm-hmm.
did kind of open me up more and show me because I think God was trying to show me what was possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so after a while, people kept asking me, when are you gonna write another book? I'm like, another book? I didn't even mean to write the first book. Like, come on, you. So then I sat and thought again, like, because all the books are geared towards teaching my daughter something.
Mm-hmm.
So we always talked about being kind and helpful, and you be respectful to your elders. So I just
Yeah.
wrote a book about all children can grow up to be healers.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about how being kind and helpful, how that's healing to the world. Like just speaking to somebody can make their day, and then
Yeah.
make them somebody else that they was nice to be nice, and then how all that energy just flowing, it just helps to help be healing. And
Yeah.
them know that you didn't need necessarily need to be a doctor or anything to be healing. You need to be yourself, but being kind and helpful was really almost like teaching manners also too.
Mm-hmm.
So after that book, I said, okay, God, I did it. I did it. I wrote with you. I did the first book and the second book. Like, I just got, I was really getting scared and I kind of stopped. And for 20 years, I didn't write another children's book, but I did go into writing poetry, which helped
Mm-hmm.
me get me out of my shell because I was so worried about what people would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like an imposter as an author. I feel like I'm an imposter author. Like, you're not really an author. People kept calling me your author, and I'm like, I'm not an author. I'm just a mom, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so going to poetry spots and being able to read my poetry helped me get out of my shell. Then I really wanted to address my literacy because I felt like I was hiding who I was, which
Mm-hmm.
was also stifling me and making me not see myself full potential. Because people kept telling me what they see in me, and I just couldn't see it. I was
Mm-hmm.
so afraid of it. I kept saying, you keep doing these great things, people are going to expect you to keep doing them. And it's like, why are you so afraid to be? I mean, I had to really ask myself, like, what are you afraid of? And me writing poetry and in my journal really helped me identify the things that I was really afraid of and
Mm-hmm.
gave me the courage to address those things. So I did go to adult literacy school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to really, the teacher was amazing. She was able to really show me, like, you actually can read. And she really explained that it was different levels of literacy.
Yeah.
She said, like, some people are really good
Yeah.
at sight words.
Yeah.
She said, some people are different learners, a visual,
Yeah.
audio, like, so we
Yeah.
kind of identify what type of learner I was. I was like, I'm an audio and visual learner. So you kind of talk to me and then I have to see, and then I could do
Mm-hmm.
the kinetic part, like where I can be more hands-on. And that helped me tremendously. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and like I know this was taught to me on some level, but I just could not, it wasn't connecting when I was younger. I was just too spacey all over the place. I feel like I have a
Mm-hmm.
little learning disability, little ADHD up in here because I was just very in my head. And
Mm-hmm.
so that really helped me identify. I didn't, for some reason, I did not connect that the vowel sounds had two sounds and all the other alphabets was just one sound. So when I would try to sound out a word, I wouldn't switch my E and my I back and forth to make the sound the word. I would actually spell it the way it sounded instead of,
Yeah. Phonetically.
Yeah, so the English language we already know can be complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But just something that simple helped me be able to break words down better, be able to sound them out, help me with my spelling. I did the spelling, I just had to practice it. So I got a one of those talking dictionaries on my phone so I could hear the word back to me so I can pronounce it. And I had to do the work.
Yeah.
The bottom line was before I was just really afraid to do the work. So I realized God said, okay, you're not ready, but I'm going to get you ready. And
Mm-hmm.
so throughout the years, I went from that to eventually I went back to college.
Oh,
Um,
congratulations.
and
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to finish college because ended up getting promoted as a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
When I went back, I took one class. I said, I'm gonna take one class because I haven't been in years, but I was able to get scholarships for my writing,
Oh,
which
wow.
was amazing because and there was
Yeah.
small scholarships like $500 here, but it helped me pay for one class at a time, but it built my confidence. And
Right.
and I didn't people will tell me like your writing is so detailed or you can make something that sounds so complicated sound so simple, which made me be good at writing children's books. And
Mm-hmm.
so, just through my life, God was revealing to me all my potential and what my gifts were and teaching me how to inspire or activate those gifts. And so I'm very grateful. I'm 53 now,
Yeah.
but I am very grateful to finally have figured it out because I've been asking for years, what is my purpose? I'm trying to
Yeah.
tell you, but you're so afraid of it,
And getting in the way and
Yeah,
sabotaging it. That's what a lot of us do
yeah,
because of our fear. And that's the thing. That's when you know you're growing, when you're pushed out of your comfort zone. Because if you have been allowed to be Kenya, who was afraid to go forward because of literacy concerns, you would not have been pushed into your greatness. Anytime we are too comfortable, it means that we're not growing. We're stagnant.
absolutely.
So I think that was wonderful. If you're not sweating, you're not pushing yourself. If you're not like, oh my
And would really help. My daughter was such an inspiration to me because I needed to be more for her. I mean, it was
God.
important for me, like Kenya. You can hide from yourself and other, but you're her first teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the woman and you have to be the example. So if you're afraid of stuff, you
Yeah,
can teach her to be afraid of stuff.
exactly.
If she don't see you overcoming fear, she's not gonna learn how to overcome fear. So she
Exactly.
pushed me out of those things. And then she's also was born with a disability. And so she's born with spina bifida,
Mm,
even though she can still walk. She used to have so many surgeries. So I just have got into advocacy work with adults with disabilities and children with disabilities. Like I just wanted to show her that what was always possible. So a
mm-hmm.
lot of the books that I've written are about things like that. Learning, one book is called Listening to Your Inner Voice.
Okay, why don't we show the audience your PDF of your wonderful books? We'll make you the host
And
so they can see. And then after that, Kenya, before we run out of time, I would like for you to give them ways to contact you. So these are the books on the website, Kenya's Amora LLC. Wonderful. Okay, yes, thank you. So let's go in order so you can tell us what is what with the little boy.
Well, the little boy is about I should have put them in order and one how I made it because the one in the middle, How to Your Love Yourself, was my very first book about my daughter.
Okay. How to love yourself.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
she's with meditation and yoga. And then the second book is right up under her. Is I changed it to all children can grow up to be healers instead of all boys and girls can grow up to be healers.
Hmm.
And it has activity in the back of the book to reinforce the story for being kind and helpful. Like you can write affirmations and write a positive poem. You can even do a family tree in there, and then you can I put a calendar in there where they can actually put on there every day what they want to do that's healing to themselves or others, like read a
Right.
book or help an
Mm-hmm.
elder out.
Mm-hmm.
Then it blossomed to Essence Dream, and this book is about a little girl that had a dream that she was a healer, and it goes and it talks about chakras and
Mm-hmm.
energy centers. I wanted to explain to my daughter about chakras because I study chakras and when I meditate, I visualize my chakras, which are my energy centers,
Right.
in my body. So I wanted to talk about that to children and what that looked like. And then
Mm.
listening to your inner voices, how we always second guess our first mind. So
Yeah.
I wanted to have her understand that God is not necessarily so much all over, up in the air. It's, within you. You have the light and God within you. And one
Mm-hmm.
way that He communicates to us is through our intuition and listening to
Mm-hmm.
that inner voice, that first mind. So usually when we second guess ourselves, that's our mind, our mundane self overriding the first thought. And we usually don't make the right decision. So the story
Yeah.
talks about how Lana, if she went through her day, how if she would have listened to her first mind, her day would have went more smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
And then people kept asking me, well, what about the boys? What about the dads? I'm like, what? I'm like, I was a single mother. I don't know anything about boys. And so, my father is a great man. I actually decided to interview 15 men, interview
Oh.
15 family members and just friends of mine and say, you know what did you actually learn from your dad? Whether it was something you saw or something that they told you. Because I know men don't always talk to their kids, but I know that children do what we do, not what we say all the time.
Exactly.
So they were able to tell me what they got from their fathers or the men in their life, their uncle or coach or something. And so from that, I put together the book of how my father's a great man. And so that book is a collaboration from them. And then last year I did a panel discussion on it right before Father's Day, and it was very powerful. We talked about, how they viewed their fathers and what how we can, help the youth in the community more. And so
Oh,
that book
wow.
was really powerful. And I had some mothers say, well, my baby daddy ain't done nothing for my child. So what I did was in the back of that book, I put where the reader could write about anybody that poured into them, that loves on them. It could be about it could be their mother, or it could be their uncle, or their somebody at school. So
Mm-hmm.
I left it open, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
encourage them to think about who actually pours into you. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other books is Watch Our World, Here I Come, My Journey to Earth. I wanted to write about a different perspective of we always say, we've been here before, but
Mm-hmm.
what if you and God planned your life? So the book is about the kids, the babies going to the school, the Will of Life class and planning
Oh.
their life and picking who their family going to be, their culture, what their life is going to be about. And then at the end of the book, they can put the family can put the baby's pictures up to age 5, their picture, their family picture in there. They have the family tree back there. Then I have something at the end that talks about developmental stages of the baby for the first 18 months for new
Mm.
moms. Um, and then um, like I said, people keep asking me for boy books, so I started incorporating brothers in the book. So Weird and Wonderful Science with Layla and Eric is about a brother and sister. They do science projects together. They started a science club, and then Let's Learn Shades Colors with Little Mike is for like I didn't have a book for like a 1 and 2 year old, so that talks about shapes and colors with Little Mike. So
Which one is that?
the very first one, the Let's Learn Shapes and Colors with Little.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So each book have some is intentionally thought about, you know, what can different subjects that kids might not normally learn about, but it was also things I wanted to always teach my daughter. And then as I've grown, people tell me what they need. So to me, that's the way the universe saying this is what the community is asking for. So one thing I love to do, I do a lot of vendoring events, and I love meeting people at my tables because they talk to me. They tell me about their children, they tell me about the things that they like to do, and those things spark me to write these different stories. So I do
Wow.
have like three more stories in my head before the end of the year that I want to write, so that I'm looking forward to writing those.
Wow. Kenya, I think that that's amazing. Did you want to share anything else before we switch back about the PDF?
No, just these are my 8 books that I have right now. I am planning on writing, like, I'm working on 2 right now, and hopefully they'll be at least one of them will be done by the end of this year, and then I have the other 2 that I'll be working at the beginning of the year. Knowing me, I probably have them done before the beginning of the year. Because
Yeah.
once the idea get in my head, I pretty much like to just go. But you can the books are can be you can see the books on my website at kenyazamorallc.com. Um, and you
So
also
spell it for people,
um
even though you can see the PDF, still spell it for people.
Kenya's Kenyas, then Amora AMORALLC is all together. .com. Kenya is my first name, and Amora is my daughter's middle name. So that's how I
Mhm.
came up with Kenya's Amora, because Amora means love, of course. So that's my
Mhm.
love. Um, and yeah, on the website, we have things about me, upcoming events that I'm be a part of every month, and any new things I'm going to be adding. So I want to make, like, for like how Tuya loves herself, I want to make a companion book for the mother about how the
Mm.
Tuya mom loves herself, because one thing I realize is, us as mothers, we tend to take care of everybody else, and we put ourselves last. And
Exactly.
so I wanted to really focus on the mothers doing self-care for her, because like I say, we're the example. And so
Yeah.
that's a book I really want to write. I want to write a companion book to How Tuya Loves Herself.
Okay. So I think that that's wonderful. I'm trying to see. Okay. All right. If you can switch back to make me the host again, can you?
You should be the host right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it hasn't switched back yet because I made you the host, so that's okay. But anyway, because I need to make sure that both of us are being seen on this. If you click on my name and then click host, then it will switch back. But in the meantime, what we could do is, I think the little Kenya who was introverted, who did not, yeah, have the confidence of performing and being in front of an audience, that all shifted and changed. And it's interesting because sometimes children are the impetus for us to do things differently. They are the reason why people go forward with their lives as opposed to remaining stagnant. Because, like you said, children watch what you do, not what you say. You can say one thing, and they are very good psychologists. Are like, this is not adding up. You're telling me one thing, and you're not doing it. They may never voice that, but they are observing. And I think your books are so beautifully decorated and illustrated, rather, in terms of the children looking like Black children, not children that have brown paint painted on them with Eurocentric features. They look like Black children. I love the different hairstyles of the little girls. I love the different names, the Afrocentric names. And it's teaching children to be proud of who they are in terms of their African American and African heritage. And it's also giving them practical things. I think what you have in the back of your books in terms of these exercises, those things are so helpful because you can tell people something, but unless they are applying it or knowing how to apply it, it just goes in one ear and comes out the next. But when you have them writing things for themselves, and this is what I know as a therapist, your brain accepts your words and your voice better than it does someone else's. So by having them see the book, write it, and then say it aloud, you're using all of those skills and all of those senses so it can be definitely embedded in their minds. And I think that's just amazing. It's wonderful, wonderful. So I'm encouraging all mothers, all grandmothers, all aunts and uncles, whoever is watching this show, to definitely get in touch with Kenya and to order the books around Kwanzaa time or any time during the year. Anytime during the year, these books will be excellent because children now need to read more and get off the computers. Every time you're looking, they can't even walk down the street. They're on the phone, cell phone, texting. And reading now has become almost an ancient art because they're not reading. They're on the computers playing computer games. And our literacy rate in this country is very low because children are not reading. And it's really unfortunate because if you don't read and understand what you're reading, the outside world would take that opportunity to constantly control you and manipulate you. There are athletes who couldn't understand their contracts. And later on, because they couldn't read, they didn't have a level of proficiency. And later on, they found out that they had been exploited. So reading is very important. I'm encouraging everyone who's listening to get these wonderful books for your grandchildren, your children, your great-grandchildren, whatever age, and they will love you for it. And it keeps them entertained because the illustrations are so beautifully done and they're so culturally relevant that they would be drawn to them. So when they look at these books, they see a reflection of themselves as opposed to a reflection of someone else who doesn't look like them and learning their story. These books are teaching the stories of the children that look like the ones that are reading, but didn't have a book to reflect their culture. So Kenya, I am so impressed with what you've done. This is an amazing example of someone who stepped outside of her comfort zone, who did something that she felt uncomfortable in doing, but this was her gift to humanity. Can you imagine what could have happened had she not followed her inner voice and worked through the issues that were trying to sabotage her with her inner child? So she pushed through the discomfort. She pushed through the scared feelings, and she manifested these wonderful 8 books. With one, she thinks is going to be completed by the end of the year. She has 3 in the making. One will be completed by the end of the year. That's wonderful. Even though she took a 20-year hiatus from writing, it's just like the fires within her were stoked to have her fulfill her mission and her passion that she didn't know was her mission, her passion, until her daughter woke something up within her. So she had to show her daughter exactly what she was talking about and empower her daughter. So Kenya, in the last few minutes, do you have anything else that you would like to share with our audience?
I just want to let everybody know that, it is my mission to be able to just, penetrate children's mind and their imagination. And literacy is very important to me because I had been through it when I was younger. I do plan on doing more things of what literacy for as far as really learning. I love running into young authors because I run into kids that write books too, and I really promote them. Like I really I'm so proud of them because I'm like everybody has a story within them.
Yeah,
Things I do call people are village go-getters because I'm like
yeah,
it takes a
yeah,
village to raise a
yeah,
child. So I feel like I'm doing my part in helping with the raising of our village is by just
yeah.
sharing my story. And I also promote other Black authors or other authors' books. because there's so many wonderful stories in the world, and we have to keep that imagination, activated. And the other book that I'm about to write is really what you just talked about, Dr. Franklin. It's about a little girl, and she is in the car with her mother, and her tablet dies. And she's bored now, and they play a game called I Spy My Favorite Shapes, Colors, Words, and um favorite things to, because I like say that is a real thing. Kids
Yeah.
want to put their electronics down and just think, and the critical thinking is so important with helping with problem solving and figuring out things in life. And our children are, they need to know. They have so much anxiety now because they don't know who they are, and they don't know what
Yeah.
they're capable of, because they're not experiencing life because they're so consumed with the things that are in front of them, and they're not out there playing and experiencing and having, a lot of interaction with other kids that create growth and development with, speaking and communicating or dealing with relationships. And those
Mhm.
things are so important. So, but I wanted to thank you so much for having me. Once
Oh,
again, I really enjoyed being on your podcast, and I look forward to anybody. You can contact me at Kenya Zamora LLC. And thank you so much.
Kenya, it has been my pleasure. I think that you are an amazing young woman. She does not look 53, not at all. She looks more like she's 33. So we thank you for being on the show. Your story is such an inspiration, such an inspiration. So when people have excuses, I'm like, listen to my podcast with Miss Kenya Harper. She started from a place of feeling very uncomfortable, thinking that she didn't have what it takes to be an author. And then her daughter was her inspiration. And now she's the author of 8, going on 9, going on 12 books. So she's showing you the blueprint. Don't succumb to your fears, because this little thing here called your mind will sabotage you every single time. And she pushed through it. So she and the creator of the universe and the ancestors pushed her out there through her daughter. And we are so thankful and grateful that that happened. So she can leave this beautiful legacy for her daughter and for others as well. So Kenya, thank you. It was indeed an
Thank
honor and a
you.
pleasure. Thank you. And for anyone who wants to get in touch with Kenya, she gave you the information. We're going to have it underneath too for you to contact her. So thank you. And don't forget to go to Oyende Enterprises for Great Lives on the Rise. And Kenya ordered a mug, and it hadn't arrived by the time we taped, but you will see her beautiful face once it arrives, because we always put all of our podcast speakers on our websites to show people.
Yeah,
Yeah, wonderful
I
they
look
are.
forward to it. I look forward to wearing my my t-shirt.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So you would see her with her beautiful face, with her t-shirt. And we have so many people order the mugs. So, and I'm not in charge of the ordering process. My director of technology is. So I'm so grateful that Kenya was able to take time away from her very busy schedule to join us today. So go to Oyende Enterprises, Oyinde Enterprises, ENTERPRISES.com, and look at all of the things we have on our website. Okay. And make sure you join us every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you know what? If you don't join us then, we have the replay. You can go to our Gray Lives on the Rise YouTube channel. Click, like, and subscribe so you would never, ever miss an episode. And you can go to our Facebook page as well. But Facebook is interesting. After 30 days, they get rid of all the podcasts for everyone. But it's always parked on our YouTube channel. So stay informed, encouraged, and tell others about it. Okay, we look forward to you, beloveds. We love you. We're grateful to you. You are the reason why we are as successful as we are. So take care. Until next time, beloveds. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Gray Lives on the Rise, being brought to you by Jamila Scents, which is the product line of Oyende Enterprises. Jamila Scents is a 100% natural aromatherapy line that heals the mind, body, and soul. This episode of Gray Lives on the Rise was intended to uplift you, to inspire you, and to motivate you. Please tell all of your friends, family members, and anyone you know who's 50 plus, who's living a vibrant life and interested in doing more and enjoying life even to its fullest. So thank you, and please subscribe, like, and comment on this video and all our videos. Thank you, and until next time, until our next podcast, namaste and be well.